All right, everyone. How are you doing? Hope you're having a great day. Turn down my mic a little bit here. Let me jack it up for the program. That's probably a little better. Check 1, 2. Great. All right. So the purpose of this video is because people keep saying I'm wrong on facts about Lemon or Petri. I'm wrong about the ice shooting, or I'm wrong about Lemon because, for example, I'm like, well, Lemon didn't do anything. And someone in the previous chat I was in said, "Oh, Lemon was leading songs or something. He was joining the chants." I'm like, "Can you show me?" And then people are like, "Well, why are you focusing on that claim?" I'm like, "Well, because it was a claim you made." I was like, "Can you show me the thing you claimed?" But people think I'm wrong on Petri or wrong on Lemon because I'm not watching the right video or the right analysis. They think if I watch something else, I will learn. And, to be fair, I'm open to this possibility because there might be information I don't know that could change my mind, at least in principle, right? So I'm open to this possibility. Nothing I've seen has convinced me, but that doesn't mean there isn't something that could convince me. And so if there's information that somehow I am not aware of, I will watch your video of choice. So, yeah, we can do that. What if Lemon did what he did in an abortion clinic? It should be fine under the FACE Act for the same reasons. Yeah. Why is it so dark? Just because I didn't turn on the light in front of me to save my eyes a little bit. But that's okay. We can turn on the light and not spare my eyes. That's fine. There you go. It's so discombobulated now. I don't even know which videos and photos are real and which ones aren't. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, we can work our way through it. We can work our way through it. But this is just an opportunity for everyone who's been yelling at me saying I've missed a video or missed an analysis. If there's someone out there who has some really good legal analysis about why Lemon is guilty or why Petri is, or why it's not a murder in Petri, I'm willing to listen to other people's legal analysis and see if they can convince me they have the better end of it. So this is just an opportunity. We're going to just stay online for a little while to give you guys an opportunity to show me something that will help correct me. And then also maybe I can explain how instant runoff voting works, because apparently that was a thing that people didn't understand. I don't know. They're like, "You don't understand what you're talking about." I'm like, I really, really do. This was something of profound interest to me in undergrad. I studied this exact thing. So I'm like, I do understand it. I'm not sure you understand it, but I understand it. So yeah. You could still have the Electoral College and instant runoff voting at the same time. You would just do instant runoff voting within the state, but still do Electoral College the same. So you could still do both. So you could do that. Yeah. Precedent's been set that by Jan 6th that YouTubers are not journalists. See, it's not that simple. What exactly did the people do on January 6th? It's not as simple as saying they're a journalist or not. You have to say, what exactly did they do or didn't they do? Right? So I don't know. If you want to go debate what some specific person did on Jan 6, we can debate their specific case and say, would it come out the same or not? But we have to go to the facts of the case, right? We can't just say, oh, there were journalists on Jan 6 who were arrested and charged. Maybe they should be. Maybe they shouldn't be. But without looking at the facts, we have no way of determining that. It's not that simple. Yeah. Do you think any part of Lemon is the process of punishment? Maybe. I'm prepared for the possibility that the government's acting in bad faith. In fact, I've kind of said so far. Well, I don't know if I've gone so far as to say bad faith, but at least that they don't have it. So this could be a process of punishment thing by the administration. Yeah, that's possible. What should we watch so that we can have better factual picture? We could also talk about watches if you want. I saw a cool one from Rado yesterday, Swiss company. Captain Cook. I never saw it in person. Pretty good looking watch. $2,400. Don't really need it, but interesting. If you were trying to get into if you're trying to get into luxury watches, that was a cool watch. So I liked that. I thought it was a cool looking watch. The Goonies we should watch. I'm not sure the Goonies is going to help us in a legal analysis. You want to do a legal analysis of the Goonies? I don't know what laws apply in the Goonies universe to anything. I'm pretty sure that the people trying to chase the Goonies were breaking a lot of laws. The Goonies themselves, I'm not sure. Yeah. Just a fun suggestion. Yeah. I love the First Amendment too. I'm open to charging Lemon, but I need something to hook him for, you know? If we take the bank robbery analogy, wouldn't that be active participation? No. I don't think so, no. Just merely because if we aired first, it would give up the game of what's happening. That's not enough for me. He knew where he's going. He did. He hid the operation, yes. He was asked to leave by the preacher. I agree with you as to state law trespass. I have no problem with that. So, yeah, state law trespass, I'm there. I already said as much. So that's fine. He made several statements that it need to hurt him be held uncomfortable. That doesn't really mean anything. Yeah. Do I think the Lemon incident could be both he done broke the law and arresting him at some sort of distraction from other things? Sure. There could be mixed motivations, of course. But I'm just here to do a legal analysis. I'm not trying to get into issues of like the motivation for arresting Lemon. I'm just here to try to figure out if there's something I can charge him with. On the federal level, we could charge him with state level trespass. That'd be fine. We can civilly sue him for trespass. That'd be fine. But it doesn't get us to the FACE Act and it doesn't get us to the Klan Act. So that's the problem. Yeah, the conspired part is the key part, Spartan. That's the key part, the conspiracy. Yeah, if he conspired with them, that'd be great. But mere knowledge is not conspiracy. So yeah. He directly interfered with the ability for service to continue by interviewing the pastor. I don't know if that's really true because at that point, the disruption had occurred. It's not like I don't really quite buy that. It's not also it's really hard pressed to say that's an act of intimidation of interviewing the pastor. So I'm not quite sure I buy that either. Right? He wasn't intimidating the pastor or threatening him. And like merely interviewing him, it's not like but for what he did. Yeah, I'm not quite buying that either. Yeah. Was he part of signal chats that coordinated the event? I don't know. See, that would be outstanding information, but that we don't have. If the DOJ has chats that show the conspiracy, then that would be great. But we don't have that information. So, I can't adjudicate based on information I don't have. The DOJ may very well have information that would provide a richer picture, but since we don't have it, we can't use it, I can only know what I can prove, right? He said, "Don't push me on the pastor." Didn't even touch him. It could have been a preemptive thing. And, incidentally, by the way, the pastor could have physically trespassed him because you can do that. If the pastor asked him to leave, he could have said, "I'm going to walk you out the door." So he could have done that. That would have been fine. You can use non-lethal force to effect a trespass. So, anyways. 2 judges didn't find probable cause. Well, the second judge didn't exactly find not prime probable cause. He just didn't exactly know what to do. And the Court of Appeals kind of left it alone, which is best for it, but whatever. If Don Lemon helped to plan the operation, scope it out, yeah, if he did things like that, if he helped scope it out and like and relay that information to people to help them in their operation, see, that's the kind of thing that would be great. If he did surveillance, cased the joint, as you might say, and relayed that information to the rest of the team, then that would be helpful. That would do it. Because now he's participating by scoping out the joint, and yeah, that would do the trick. Can you embed yourself with journalists with terrorists to record their illegal activities? Technically, yes. Especially the act of terror is useless in a vacuum without eyeballs watching and assisting them. You see, the thing is there, like, even if the mere reporting on it can't be the thing because the First Amendment protects it, right? People who do terroristic things may want not news of their thing to be spread. That might be a motivation they have. But like, if you presuppose that a terrorist organization somewhere is doing a thing in order that the news will cover it and bring wider attention to it, and that will help the cause, you can't possibly get there just because CNN is reporting on it. That wouldn't make sense, right? A bombing occurred today in London or whatever. CNN, that might be something the terrorists desire, but their mere reporting on it, even if CNN had a reason to believe that the terrorists wanted that, it can't possibly be the thing because CNN has a right to report on the news. So even if CNN somehow knew that terrorists wanted that result, that isn't enough because they still would have the ability to report on it. You know what I mean? So that can't do the trick. His interview was interference. Does being a journalist excuse harassing the pastor and refusing to leave? No. As I said earlier, I don't think journalist is really a thing within the context of the First Amendment. I have the same First Amendment protection that anyone else does. So the term journalist is meaningless within the context of the First Amendment. Don Lemon doesn't get any more First Amendment rights than I do. So the answer to that is no. Andrew Callaghan from Channel 5 interviewed drug dealers making a transaction. Yeah, see? Exactly so, right? Yeah, you could do that. I think the FACE Act might be unconstitutional if you use the First Amendment argument as paramount. Well, it could be unconstitutional as applied, but that's kind of the thing that we're trying to get to, right? I'm trying to get to conduct that would satisfy the First Amendment. So that's why that's one of the things I'm looking to. The purpose of the pastor at that time is to run the ceremony. He didn't allow the ceremony to continue by interfering. Yeah, at that point, though, the thing had been ground to a screeching halt. So I'm not really sure he interfered with, really. I'm not quite buying it. I understand what you're saying, but I'm not quite buying it. Yeah. Wasn't he asked to leave? Yeah, that's a civil trespass and a criminal trespass under state law. No problem. If you want to charge him under state law with trespass, I'm there. If you want to sue him for trespass, I'm there. That's fine. No problem. For the FACE Act and Klan Act, still looking. Owen Schroyer was holding a microphone the whole time during Jan 6. Well, we could take a look at the case and see what the First Circuit said about it. Would you like to take a look? Because I'm not familiar with the case. Let's take a look and see if the First Circuit was right or not. So let's take a look and see. Let's check. What did they say about it? Let's see if I can find this thing from the First Circuit. They prosecuted, yeah, but let's look into why. Why did they see that we need the more specificity? What did he do? Right? We need specificity. What did he do? Did he do an illegal thing? Let's take a look. Let's take a look. What did they charge him with? Did he do those things? Let's find out. All right. Knowing, entering, or remaining in a restricted building or grounds without lawful authority. So basically trespass, violent entry, and disorderly conduct. Okay. Let's see. That's just the criminal complaint. Oh, well, that's what I asked for. Is the information. Okay. Let's take a look. Did knowingly, unlawful and knowingly enter and remain in restricted grounds that's supposed to cordon off an otherwise restricted area within the United States Capitol on its grounds. So trespassing. I apologize. You can't see it. Sorry. So trespassing. And then count two, did knowingly and with intent to impede, disrupt the orderly conduct, engage in disorderly conduct in with proximity. That is by doing what? How did he do that? Count three, disorderly conduct with intent to impede. How did he do that? Count four. Okay, that doesn't give me information as to how he did those things. Where's the probable cause? Blah 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 blah. Per curum, memorandum order judgment in criminal case, district court. Per curum. All right. Upon consideration, order motion dismissed be granted. Dismiss the appeal, I guess. He pled guilty to entering or remaining in grounds. Well, if he pled guilty, that would kind of do it. He said it raised questions as to whether the First Amendment smothered the First Amendment by considering things he said in selecting the appropriate sentence. And charged with 4 cases on that day, perhaps alone, Shore was already being prosecuted for allegedly interfering with proceedings of the Capitol. He allegedly disrupted a meeting in which he was charged with 2 offenses. Well, I mean, that would do it. To resolve the case, Shore decided to defer prosecution agreement in which he agreed not to violate any law, promised not to utter loud, threatening, or abusive language. That agreement was still in effect. That's going to obviously influence things. He had previously pled guilty to an offense, and there was an agreement. That's going to definitely increase his liability. But Shore did violate the law by pleading guilty to entering or remaining in a restricted building. In a joint session, on that day, he entered the plaza, was closed to the public. Yeah, so that would do it. He was among the crowd, addressed them with a microphone, encouraging them not to accept the election. Oh, yeah, that's more than just passive reporting, isn't it? Yeah. Shore then entered cop the ground. He breached the restricted area on the grounds that were delineated. He stood in the Capitol and led hundreds of people in chanting. Do we have to keep reading? I mean, he did a lot more things than just passively reporting. So that would be why he was guilty. He didn't just passively report. He was shouting and using a megaphone and leading people's in chants and stuff. Yeah, that would do it. Okay. Do we have to keep reading? Yeah, that's a different fact scenario. Yeah. Plus the trespassing, which I have no problem, again, charging Lemon with trespassing under state law. In this case, Scheuer was charged with trespassing under federal law, and I have no problem charging Lemon with trespassing. That'd be fine. So no issues there. The Gore, what about Lemon interviewing the guy at the door and the Gore keeps trying to end it, but Lemon keeps going? All he had to do was walk away. The guy wants to end the interview. All he has to do is literally walk away. He wasn't being blocked. He could have just left. He might have wanted to end the interview, but Lemon wanted to keep going. And apparently he kept going. All he had to do is leave. Lemon was not stopping him from leaving. Not enough. But does he feel free to walk away? He was free. He was free. You can't, there was nothing stopping him. Can you change hats during an event? Sure, absolutely, yeah. You could go from a legal status to an illegal status. Yeah. Probably not so much the other way around. That'd be hard. I'm not sure if you can go from an illegal status back to a legal status. I mean, you could stop doing illegal things, but that's not the same. But sure, you could cross a line. Was he? He was. I watched the video. Do you want to watch it together? Let's watch it. I'll show you. Let's see if I can find it. Give me a second. Is the church classified as a private residence? Well, not a residence, but it's a private building. So yeah, that's not a problem. Let's see. Yeah, here it is. Okay, I got it. He was blocking the doorway? No, he wasn't. Let's watch it together. Let's roll that beautiful bean footage.
See, the police are here. They haven't come in yet, but that police are here. And this is where folks are leaving. Just want to show you, and that's the inside of the church there where they are. And so the pastor, I don't know if you can see in there, the pastor's hugging members of the church as they are about to leave. And so, an interesting Sunday morning for you. What do you think of this?
A harmless Christian here that wants to praise the Lord with my son, and now I got to go home. I'm sorry that you guys are so angry.
I'm just chronicling. I'm not with the group.
What do I have to say?
Can you understand why they're angry?
I don't understand any of this because I'm a simple man. I'm a simple man who loves.
Please show me where he's blocking the door. Please show me where he's preventing him from leaving. You know what I mean? Oh, please show me.
The Lord and as a good father. So this is what we look forward to, is coming, being with our family and praising Jesus, and that's not something that we have to run away from. So this is kind of a bad day for us. But, we're going to heaven, so that's the best news we got.
Do you understand that some of these folks feel voiced?
Oh, you think I'm looking at the wrong part of the clip? Oh, that's fine. If you think I'm looking at the wrong part of the clip, just give me a timestamp. Yeah, no, if you think I'm looking at the wrong part, no problem. Here's what you want to do. Just give me the name of the video you want me to watch and the timestamp, and I'll be happy to pull it up. Name of video, timestamp. Give me those two things. I'll be happy to watch it. Let's go watch something else. That's the whole point of this stream, is for me to watch things. Yeah, show me what you mean, and I'll watch it, and we can decide. Yeah. I'll be fine. No problem. That's why we're here. Please show me the thing. I'll be happy to consider the thing. Your Nightbot seems to be not cooperating at the moment, I guess. Where he's interviewing the pastor? That's the old man you were referring to? Pastor isn't old. Someone said something about an old man. Pastor isn't old. Name a video timestamp. Yeah, just name a video old timestamp. Just type it in chat. Name a video timestamp. I'll look it up on YouTube. It'll be fine. New York Renal MD, $5. I agree with Kurt now. It isn't illegal, but the fact he has no remorse and didn't apologize is disgusting. Lemon deserves our contempt. Yeah, I have no problem with that either. Yeah, if you want to just have contempt for the man, I'm down with that too. Yeah, Lemon's a scumbag piece of shit. That's fine. Yeah, I'm just here about the law. You're not sure about the timestamp? Well, I can't know what you are contemplating. That's not fair, right? I went to the video where I thought you meant this, and you're like, oh, it's not that, it's something else. And I'm like, can you tell me what video and what timestamp? And now you're like, I'm not sure. So you want me to go hunting around for the video that you're thinking about? How's that fair to me? Right? I mean, only you know what you're thinking about. So like, you need to go find the video and give me the video and timestamp so I can see the thing you're talking about. You know, I can't hunt around for the thing that's in your mind. How's that supposed to work? Someone said Lemon brought coffee or donuts or something. Did anyone have that link? Does anyone, because people said that before, Lemon brought the protesters coffees and does anyone have that? Someone said like Lemon was leading like chants or stuff. Does anyone have that? Like, show me, please. You saw the donuts video? Great. It's at the beginning of his stream? The beginning of this stream? You want to go all the way to the beginning? Okay.
Hey everybody, welcome to the program. We just got into Minneapolis.
I don't see donuts or coffee.
Some reconnaissance on the ground. I'm speaking to an organization there that's gearing up for resistance and protest. I've been pleasantly surprised to see the community coming together. Diverse community. If you see this, when we first pulled up, we're like, wait a minute, which operation are we at? And as it turns out, because we're like, well, this is kind of MAGA coded, right? So the American flag.
Will this case survive a motion to dismiss? Not at the moment. It won't. It's not at the beginning. Okay, great. Then again, just give me the name of the video and the timestamp. Someone said it was at the beginning, so I went to the beginning. Give me the name of the video. Give me the name of the video and the timestamp, and I'll be happy to pull it up. This is not a problem. This is why we're here. Help me help you. Give me the name of the video and the timestamp, and I will pull it up. Please. It's every video. That doesn't help me. Yeah, if you can show me him leading chants and stuff, that'd be great. Like, can you show me these things? That'd be helpful. Yeah, name a video, all, timestamp, all is not helpful. It takes time to find. That's fine. We can chill. I'm not in a rush. Take your time. We're not going anywhere. We can chill. Lemon edited the video to remove coffee and donuts. Okay, well, if you can't show it to me, if you can't show me the thing, that's real. There's no archived footage of it. That seems odd. Like, no one managed to archive footage of him bringing coffee and donuts. Really? That'd be helpful. The old man in the hat was at 102 in this video? Or you mean 1 hour and 2 minutes? Okay, you mean 1 hour, 2 minutes? Let's take a look.
You can imagine. Of course they would be upset. So the crowd has significantly dwindled. And the reason, can I talk to you, sir? What do you think of this?
While I agree with everybody's freedom to protest, these people have come into our house.
Can I talk to you, sir? And then he's talking. Plus, there's a very, no. Can I talk to you? And now he's talking. That's That's consent. No.
And they've interrupted our worship.
Yeah, you can't post a link in YouTube. That's why I keep saying name of video and timestamp, because I don't allow links. Yeah. Why wouldn't Lemon get charged? Because he didn't do anything illegal. That's why. I can't find anything that he did that was illegal. It's okay. It's on YouTube where he gets the video. Okay. Hold on 1 second. You gave me a link. You gave me a thing. Okay. Hold on 1 second. Let's see if we can pull that up. Give me 1 moment, please.
It's like
He's also on camera giving them coffee and donuts in solidarity.
Oh, we have that.
Yeah, I mean, there's...
Well, let me show that, Michael. Good point. We haven't shown that yet. Here it is.
You want some coffee? Thank you. Anybody want some coffee? Good. You're welcome.
Everybody wanting more?
Yeah, good.
We're out here to
Good. You want some?
I'm good, thank you.
Want any coffee?
Thank you.
You guys want any coffee?
I'm good, thank you.
What about you, brother?
Appreciate what
You
you're
good?
doing, Don.
Okay, good, thank you.
You good?
Yeah, we're
You're
good.
That's not the same incident. That's not the same incident. This is something else. This isn't the same group. Yeah, this isn't the same group. So no. Yeah.
You're good?
Yeah.
All right. I'm here. You guys want some? You don't want to wash that down with anything?
In all my years,
Yep, that's nothing. Or at least it's not this. Even if it is something, it's not this. So at a different time and a different protest, he brought people coffee and donuts. That is not informative to this incident. It might be informative to some other incident, but not this one. So no, not so much. Yeah. Why would coffee and donuts make him guilty if he brought him to this group? Because it could be seen as aiding and abetting. It's giving material support, aid and comfort. That might be aiding and abetting. Aiding and abetting is where you assist someone in the commission of a crime. If you bring them coffee and donuts as encouragement for the crime, that's aiding and abetting. That's an accessory. Yeah, that's why. Yeah. You cannot bring the robbers coffee and donuts. No, not so much. No. Yeah. Even if he only knew. Sure. Yeah, he would have to know that they were doing an illegal thing. True. But he did know for the church protesters. He knew. So if he brought them coffee and donuts, that might be accessory. But not so much here. It's a huge stress for aiding and abetting. Not really. I've seen aiding and abetting on less. If you aiding and abetting is bringing any sort of support to the cause, basically. So if you, knowing that they're doing an illegal thing, bring them coffee and donuts in order to encourage them and to promote their spirits, yeah, you're there. That could do it. Yeah. When he was asked to leave, that would be trespassing. He is guilty of trespassing under state law. Correct. But he's not guilty under the FACE Act or Klan Act. But he is guilty of state law trespassing. When he was asked to leave and didn't leave, yeah, that's criminal trespass. So the state could charge him and the church can sue him. So that's fine. No problem. Did he know it was illegal? Sure. But his knowledge that something illegal is happening is not aiding and abetting. He has to do something to promote, encourage, assist, so forth and so on. He has to actually aid it. He has to aid or abet, right? So just knowing isn't enough. He has to either aid or a bat, right? So like, where is that, right? That's the thing, right? Yeah. As a hypothetical, can you barge in the back of a restaurant to report on uncleanliness? No. Shouldn't the trespass negate the right to journalism? It's not an issue of right of journalism. You can't trespass. Correct. But he's guilty of trespass under state law. So no problem. Because he was told to leave and didn't leave. So that's trespass. No problem. Easy peasy. You're there. Great. Moving on. So someone filming a prayer group in an abortion clinic and then asking the participants' employees how they feel about it would not face an act violation? That's potentially correct, yes, because they would not be committing any of the things from the FACE Act. I mean, let's go read it together as to part one, right? We can just go read the statute. So let's go read what part one says, because this would be part one, right? Okay. So 18 USC 248. Okay. So your question was, if a person was filming a protest or whatever at the abortion clinic and then went and interviewed people, would that be a violation of the FACE Act? That was your question, right? So let's read. Is that person doing any of the following? By force or threat of force, or by physical obstruction, intentionally injures, intimidates, or interferes with, or attempts to injure, intimidate, or interfere with any person because that person is or has been, or in order to intimidate such a person or any other person, class of persons, from obtaining productive reproductive services. So no, in that situation, a reporter would not be doing any of those things. So no, he would not be guilty of the FACE Act for that because he wouldn't be doing any of those things. Would riding in the getaway car be aiding? No. If you're driving, well, if you provide a suggestion to turn left or turn right, yeah, that might do it, right? If you're helping them escape by saying you should turn right here to help their escape, yeah, that might very well do it. Yeah. Yeah, that could do it. Yeah, I don't think that his interview with the pastor can reasonably be seen as intimidation. That seems, no. Yeah, I'm not buying that. My Pisco impression will not get me laid. This has nothing to do with the Pisco impression. Guys, you know, I hope you guys know that I'm conservative and Republican and pro-Trump and pro-ICE and anti-Don Lemon. I don't know why people, I saw this also in the previous like comments where people are like, uncivil is like trying to like please the left, or uncivil is trying to like, you know, trying to be left grifting or something like that. It's not that. It's just I can't find it. I'm a legal analyst channel. You know, I'm a legal analyst. I have to be honest. I wish I could charge him. I really do, but I can't find it. So like, yeah, for these people who seem to think that like I'm trying to channel the left, or some people said some weird shit. What have people said about me recently that was like, you got to be kidding me, guys? Where is he? What'd they say? This is your line, Kurt. Someone said, well, there were a couple like that that said some things. I'm having a hard time finding them right now. But take my word for it. Lol. Yeah, I'm having a hard time finding it, but take my word for it. I can go into an abortion clinic and go to the operator and interview the doc and prevent him from doing an abortion. No, it's not. No. Do I see William Kelly as violating the FACE Act? Who is William Kelly and what did he do? The bearded weirdo? The woke farmer? No. Why? Yeah, I think the woke farmer violated the FACE Act. Yeah, I think he's part of the conspiracy. Yeah, I think the woke farmer violated the FACE Act. Yeah, pretty directly. Yeah, that's easy. Yeah, no problem. So did Don Lemon. How? That's why. How did Don Lemon? Like how did he do it? I think we can agree the conduct of the woke farmer and Lemon was of a different scale. The woke farmer was like yelling directly in people's faces and shouting at them and like berating them. Lemon, not as much. Their conduct is different. The woke farmer just showed up like Lemon did. Even assuming that's true, he did other things once he got there to join it. So even if he came for a legitimate purpose, at some point he did things that are very aggressive. So it's not the same. What's the difference between praying in front of someone and asking them a question? I don't know. Although the people I'm not trying to defend the prosecutions I'm not trying to defend the prosecutions of the people that were prosecuted for praying near an abortion clinic. Or I don't know enough about their facts. I haven't looked into their case. So I'm not trying. I don't have a position at this time with respect to the people that were prosecuted under the FACE Act for interfering, for praying nearby. I haven't looked into the specifics of what they did. So having not looked into it, I can't take a position on it. I'm neither for nor against their prosecution as a matter of law. But I haven't attempted to analyze it. If you like, I could try. I mean, if you want me to try to analyze it and try to figure out whether or not it was a good prosecution in the first place, I mean, I could try, but would that be meaningful to you if I did that? Would it be meaningful to you if I did all that and said, no, it's not a good prosecution? I mean, would that get us anywhere with respect to Lemon? So it doesn't seem like a particularly fruitful exercise. Because if I did the analysis, I suppose if I did the analysis and said it was good prosecution, you guys would hate me. And if I did the analysis and said, no, it's not a good prosecution, it doesn't get us anywhere with respect to Lemon. So I'm not sure where the fruit of that exercise would bore out. you know? It's just like when we just did that Jan 6 guy. How about this guy on Jan 6? And you read the probable cause and you're like, oh no, it's a little bit more than just filming now, wasn't it? It was a little bit more than just passively filming like a fly on the wall. A little bit more than that. Oh, okay, that makes a difference, right? So it's like, yeah, it's a different factual predicate. So it's like, yeah, it's not the same. Yeah, if they can find electronic evidence that Don was more involved, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, we have to speculate it into existence. But sure, the DOJ could be well aware of information that we don't have. So if the DOJ is in possession of information that shows Don actively participated in the coronation, surveilling, assisting, if they have that kind of information, then great. They might have that. And if they have that, that'd be really fucking helpful. So yeah, maybe the DOJ has more information that's available. But since we don't know that, there's no real point for us to sit here and speculate it into existence. It makes more sense for us to base on what we can see and maybe some reasonable, suppositions on top. Maybe we can push a little past what we can see and make some reasonable extrapolations. But, there are secret text messages is not a reasonable extrapolation based on the information we have. It might be true, but we have no basis to believe it's true. So there's no real point for us to talk about it because we have no reason to believe it's true. Yeah. First Amendment doesn't give Lemon the right to interview the pastor in the church services silly on his face. Well, if Lemon was the only one interrupting him, if Lemon had interrupted him for the purpose of conducting an interview, then I'd agree with you. But that's not quite what happened, right? The service had long since ground to a shrieking halt due to everyone else. And so Lemon trying to interview him about what do you think, I don't really think is adding very much at that point. So the facts matter at that point, right? Because everything had grown to a screeching halt. So Lemon wasn't extending or making it more severe. So I don't think that quite works. They were all told to leave. Again, I don't have a problem with a trespass conviction. Yeah, you guys want to charge these people under state level trespass? You've got my blessing. You've got my blessing. You want to charge Lemon and everyone else in sight with state level trespass? You have my blessing. You want to sue Lemon and everyone else in sight for civil trespass and for negligent infliction of emotional distress and some other shit while you're at it? You have my blessing. We're not arguing. You want to charge them with the FACE Act and Ku Klux Klan Act? Yeah, we're having a fight. I wish, but I can't find it. Do FACE Acts require a trespass warning? No. No, they do not. Lemon is there to show to everyone to shame them. Yes, but that can't be enough by itself for exactly the same reason I said earlier. Let's suppose there's a terrorist attack, and let's suppose the terrorists want publicity of the terrorist attack because that will help increase the terror, which isn't that hard of a proposition to believe in. Now, I know we're going to have to do a hypothetical, guys, but it's okay. Okay, you and I can do this together. We're a team. So let's hypothesize there's a group of terrorists, and let's hypothesize that they do a terrorism. And let's suppose that they would really like press coverage of their terrorism because it will help to increase the magnitude of the terror by everyone becoming more aware of the terror, right? Let's suppose all these things. Now, are we saying that we think that CNN at all, even if they have reason to believe this to be true, even if they believe that to be true, can't cover it? That doesn't make any sense, right? Right? Can CNN still talk about the whatever even though the terrorists want it? Of course they can, because it's a news incident, right? So even though the terrorist group wants it, that's a First Amendment issue, right? I have the reason to talk. I have the right to talk about it, right? So it can't be enough by itself. It can't be just because he's filming it and that helps the group. It can't be enough, because if it was, CNN can't report on some subway massacre or whatever, because blah, it's the same problem, right? We need to do something to bring criminality into it. It can't just be because the terrorists would like us to somehow somehow in and of itself makes it illegal. That isn't, yeah. That's not enough. And like, also, like, you could want the same thing for reasons that are legal and it also not be terrorism, even if the terrorists are doing that. So let's suppose, I don't know, what's something that you would like to have happen? It doesn't really matter, but whatever. Let's suppose, okay, here's one. Let's suppose that you would like illegal immigrants to be deported. Okay, you would like illegal immigrants to be deported. You think this is good. Okay, and then tomorrow, again, hypothesis, we're going to speculate. Okay, we're taking a guess. Okay, tomorrow, some terrorists blow up something in order to. They're not really happy that the deportations are having happy enough. So I don't know. The terrorists, I don't know. What are they doing? They blow up, I don't know, the learning center in Minnesota or something, right? The terrorists blow up the learning center because they're not happy they're not happy the deportations are happening. Okay, and so they do this terrorism. Now you don't really like the learning center because you think they're a fraud. Can you still that day or even the next day, can you still go out and be like, you know what, I think this learning center is still a fraud. I don't think they should be allowed to I still would like their business license revoked, even though that's the same thing the terrorists want and they're doing it through illegitimate means, but you're doing it through legitimate means, right? Even though you support the goals of the terrorists because you want that thing to happen, it doesn't somehow become illegal for you to ask for the thing through legal mechanisms, right? So that isn't enough, right? So, whatever, it's like, yeah, you still have political speech, even if the terrorists want the same political end. So hopefully that made sense in the hypothesis. Do we watch the video yet? We've watched videos, but if there's other videos for me to watch, I'm happy to watch it. Yeah, this is a show me a video to show I'm wrong stream. So is there another video that I've not paid attention to or that I've missed? Or you want to show me something that I haven't seen or want to review something? I'm here for it. What do you want me to review? I don't think the cameraman behind the man cutting off the head gets away with it if he calls himself a journalist. It's not that simple. Yeah, it's not that simple. Is he an independent person or is he part of the group? Yeah, if terrorists film it, then no. Is he completely independent who just somehow works and films it? Then yeah, maybe. Right? So who it is matters. He documented the conspiracy? Yes, he did document the conspiracy. That's true. Lemon did document the conspiracy. That's true. It's very, very good evidence for the conspiracy. Yeah. He documented the planning phase? Yeah, he did. The planning phase is part of the conspiracy. Yeah, he documented the planning phase. That's true. 100%. Correct. Yeah. How could he be independent? He was invited. Not the same thing. Yeah, not the same thing. I couldn't spell Pretti's name. I looked it up, but someone else spelled it wrong, I guess. I'll fix it. Sorry. Someone else had it spelled wrong, so I guess I used the wrong source. He assisted a disruptor at 13 minutes into a stream. Give me a second to fix the spelling and we'll go and check it out. Okay. No, that's the same spelling I have. Yeah, this is, no, you said Pretti. Yeah, that's how I spelled it. Oh, no, it's not. Hold on. I'm in the wrong video. No, I have to fix it. Where is the settings for this? They changed the interface recently, and I don't know where everything is yet. Okay, there we go. All right, so you said 13 minutes into his video. Okay, let's check it out. "13 minutes. Oh, is this with the pushing the car thing? Yeah, we reviewed the pushing the car thing. Yeah, this is the best.
I used to have one of these. It makes a big
This
difference.
This is the best evidence we have so far
Carol's,
for
working.
Lemon, because he very briefly pushes the car.
All right, we're going forward, right?
Look at this for
There
yeah.
we go. Ooh. Back up, back up, back up.
Yeah, for like 3 seconds tops, he touches the car. So yes, that is the best evidence against Lemon so far. Is like for 3 seconds he pushes the car. He didn't really put his back into it though. That's pretty thin though. But that's the best evidence we have against Lemon. It's like, you guys got anything more? You got any more? You guys got a little bit more. It's a little thin. It's a little thin. He gives advice the entire time. That's true too. It's a little thin. Like, you guys, you got anything more? He does give direction. He does give advice on like getting the thing out of the car. It's a little disconnected from what happened at the church. Now, legally, you can push the whole thing together as a contemporaneous whole, but I think to a jury, this is running really thin. It's like, maybe, it's like the defense will be he's just trying to help a guy out of the snow, man, right? So it's like, this is kind of disconnected and geographically and temporally. It's like you can do it legally, but practically it's a little thin. Can we find anything a little bit more? Would be nice. Can we do any better than this? How much more do we need? A little bit more would be nice. Right now you have like technically correct is the best kind of correct. So you have a technically correct yes on a law school exam. But in the real world, not as much. It's a little thin. Yeah, it's a little thin. But yes, on a law school exam, you could argue that he is helping to facilitate the crime by helping one of the co-conspirators by assisting them in a material way. So you can get there on a pleading. However, that being the case, there is a non-trivial chance that a judge would say, "You've got to be fucking kidding me. Get the fuck out with this weak ass bullshit." It's like, oh, you crossed the line, right? This would be the legal equivalent of you putting up a no trespassing sign and someone sticks their toe across the line, right? They stick their toe across the line. And you're like, that's trespassing. You're like, technically, yes. There's a pretty decent chance the judge tells you, go fuck yourself. Get the fuck out of my courtroom. right? That's where you're at. You're in a toe has crossed the line territory. I need a little bit more. I have a Pretti view. It says watch the movements of the two officers starting at 53 seconds. Okay. Let's check it out. Let's see. Watch the 2 minutes. Okay. I put that in and didn't pop up right away. Okay, how am I going to find this video now? CNN? Let's see if I can find it. Okay, here we go. Oh, it's not on CNN. It's not on YouTube, but it's on their website. Okay. Give me a second. And you want me to go to what did you ask me to do? 53 seconds? Okay.
Later, you'll see he's wearing a bulletproof vest labeled U.S. Border Patrol, along with a patch of the state flag of Texas. Here he is on Nicollet Avenue. You can see him shaking his spray as the sound of whistles blare in the background. We see Alex Pretti for the first time here, in a video filmed from a car driving by. Pretti and 3 other people are across the street. They're standing next to a federal officer on Nicollet Avenue, Border Patrol, the first time it became deadly. At 8:56 a.m., we see this officer in the green shirt for the first time in this video. Later, you'll see he's wearing a bulletproof vest labeled U.S. Border Patrol, along with a patch of the state flag of Texas. Here he is on Nicollet Avenue. You can see him shaking his spray as the sound of whistles blare in the background. We see Alex Pretti for the first time here, in a video filmed from a car driving by. Pretti and 3 other people are across the street. They're standing next to a federal officer. Seconds later, an officer pushes Pretti to the sidewalk. Pretti is filming while stepping backwards. A moment later, this person falls to the ground as an officer begins to restrain him. The officer in the green shirt rushes over to assist him. Together, they drag this person off the street as protesters yell at the agents. That first officer in the green shirt would next be seen sitting inside his car, here. We now want to turn your attention to the second officer, wearing a tan beanie. According to a report from Customs and Border Protection's investigative body, officers ordered these female civilians and later Pretti to move out of the roadway, and they did not. At that time, Pretti can be seen directing traffic past the officers and protesters. The officer in the tan beanie shoves the 2 women in the middle of the street, prompting Pretti to yell out.
Hey, do not push them into the traffic!
Watching the shoving across the street, the officer in the green shirt is now standing outside of his car. Meanwhile, the officer in the tan beanie turns his attention to Pretti, pushing him out of the way before shoving one of the women to the ground.
Seems
Pretti
like a little
steps
much.
between them, and the officer pepper sprays him in the face. As Pretti tries to help the woman to her feet, multiple officers grab him and pull him to the ground. At this point, the officer wearing the green shirt and black hat approaches. You can see him reach for his spray here, and then attempt to use it on the people pushed against the car. It appears to malfunction. As we slow this footage down, you can see that he then turns toward Pretti, who is being held down by other agents. According to CBP, they were attempting to take Pretti into custody, and that he resisted. Based on these videos, Pretti can be seen on the ground with more than 5 officers around him. At this exact moment, on the other side of the scrum, the officer in the tan beanie starts beating Pretti in the head with a metal spray canister. Another officer in a gray coat removes Pretti's handgun from his waistband, directly in front of the officer in the green shirt here, though it's unclear if he sees it. He pushes the officer in the gray coat to the side, drawing his
Sean has
gun
missed too many
and
locals.
pointing
Thank you.
it
For
at
$9.99, Jeremiah says, Sean's missed too many locals. You get my shekels. Thank you very much. That's very kind of you.
Pretti, who is down on his knees, bent forward. 1 second later, we hear the first gunshot.
Yeah, I mean, we're not beyond a reasonable doubt. Never have claimed we are. But this looks bad. This looks like a bad shoot. This looks like a bad shoot. Yeah, there's nothing about this is working for me. So yeah, I think that's a bad shoot. Yeah, I think they fucked up. Still justify it? Yeah, I don't know about that. When I say a bad shoot, I meant it like in the sense of illegal versus a good shoot. It's a term that cops use. Say a good shoot or a bad shoot. So yeah, I meant it more in a legal sense of bad. Yeah, I think it's a murder. I think it's a murder. Probably. Yeah. Probably. There are defenses that are possible based on what the officer thinks he saw that could be reasonable. But then again, it gets into an issue of credibility, whether the jury believes that or not. But there are defenses. But yeah, I think on balance, press it forward. ED Raptor becomes an uncivilian. Thank you very much for hitting that beautiful, beautiful join button. You guys are nice guys. I like you guys. I like you, chat. Even if sometimes you guys drive me a little bit nuts. But that's okay. New York Renal MD has been a member for 49 months. Thank you. What else can we do today? What else can we talk about? Does the Pretti second video 11 days ago give evidence of history of violent behavior? No, not really. And it can't really inform the shooting. It doesn't really have any relevance to the shooting. Unless those officers somehow specifically knew about that. And even then, I'm not sure it has much relevance. So it either has no relevance or its relevance is marginal. What question would Don have to ask for it to be considered intimidation? I'm not sure that you really can, but a question that's really a threat, like a mob extortion kind of thing. A question that's actually really a threat. So maybe that'd do it. Yeah, tomorrow's Groundhog Day, woodchuck chuckers. Maybe we'll talk about these things again tomorrow because we talk about them every day. I'm living in repeat anyway. Might as well. Talk about watches? I know. We can talk about watches. That's fine. $9.99 from Michelle 8190. Don hired a cameraman to record his interactions during the church service protests. Sure, he did. I believe cameraman knows a lot. What comes out to discovery will be interesting. Could be. Yeah. What did you miss? Not much. We've just been talking about videos and seeing if there was anything critical that I've missed. Any evidence that would really show me the error of my ways and my legal analysis. And so far, not so much. $5 from Scott Jen. The only overt act number 4 would make sense in Lemon's case. There are additional emails showing us participating rather than news coverage. Yes, if there are emails, messages, group chats, DMs, etc., that would be fantastic. Matthew Kidd, 7219 for $20 says, or the relevance could hurt the officers. They think, oh, hey, here's that agitator again. Yeah, maybe, but that only gets them so far, right? That might inform why they made decisions earlier in the interaction. But as to the shooting, I think it would be pretty marginal. But I appreciate your super chat. Thank you. Thank you for the donations. I probably have to have my Rolex serviced because I haven't had it serviced since it was given to me as a gift almost 20 years ago at this point. So I need like $1,000 so I can have someone take my watch apart and put it back together. Please help. It's good to have first world problems. Yeah, that's a fair point. That is a fair point. Doesn't Rolex still do free maintenance? To the best of my knowledge, Rolex has never done free maintenance. Rolex at some point in their history did free maintenance. When? That was a thing? I'm not sure if that was ever a thing. Any upcoming Supreme Court stuff? Oh, there's been some great Supreme Court stuff recently. Really good stuff. What's upcoming? Let's see what's coming up on the calendar. Have you ever watched Wish Watch Revival? I think I have done Wish Watch Revival. I think I have seen this stuff. Supreme Court's going to hear birthright citizenship case on April 1st. That is hilarious. Who at the Supreme Court made that decision? That is hilarious. Supreme Court's going to hear the birthright citizenship case on April 1st. Wow. Who made that decision? Good times. Yeah, who scheduled that? Yeah, exactly. Okay, February sitting. Let's see what's coming up. Hannah Docs Corporation versus, let's see what we got. Havana Docks versus Royal Caribbean. Whether a plaintiff under Title III of the Libertad Act must prove defendant trafficked in property confiscated by the Cuban government, as to which the plaintiff owes a claim, or instead the defendant trafficked in property the plaintiff would have continued to own as the time of trafficking in a counterfactual world as if there had been no expiration. Where the Helms-Burton Act abrogates foreign sovereign immunity in cases against Cuban instrumentalities, or a party proceeding under the Act must also satisfy the Foreign Sovereign Immunities Act. Where district courts have the authority to excuse the 30-day procedural limit for removal. Whether taking and selling a home to satisfy a debt to the government and keeping the surplus value as the windfall violates takings clause, when the compensation is based on artificially depressed auction sale price rather than the property's fair market value. Well, how is it artificially depressed? would be my question. What do you mean by artificially depressed? And where the forfeiture of real property worth far more than need to satisfy tax debt but sold under a fraction of its real value constitutes excessive fine? Yes, it does. Whether 18 U.S.C. 922 G3 that prohibits possession of firearms by a person who's an unlawful user violates the Second Amendment. Ooh, they're taking a Second Amendment case, another Second Amendment case. This is what, the second one this year? Holy shit. When the Supreme Court decided the Second Amendment existed. Wow. Potential illegal drug users are now just found in drinking laws, legislative restricted drug possession, common sense confirmed, blah, 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 blah. That case could be fun. That case looks like fun. Okay. Where the only permissible exception to a general appeal waiver are for claims of ineffective assistance counsel or the statute exceeds statutory maximum. I would think. What else would it be? Whether an appeal waiver applies when the sentencing judge has advised the defendant that has a right to appeal and the government does not object. I don't know. But like what else would be grounds for a general appeal waiver? I guess I have to read to understand what else it is, right? Uh-huh. Okay. So a broad range of other constitutional challenges. Okay. Yeah, talking about illegal market manipulation, possibly. Whether a federal statute preempts a state common law claim against a broker for negligently selecting a motor carrier or driver. Whether federal election day statutes preempt a state law that allows ballots that are cast by election day to be received after that day. Okay, that's going to be fun. Dealing with like received versus postmarked, that could be fun. Whether the doctrine of judicial estoppel can be invoked to bar a plaintiff who fails to disclose a civil claim in bankruptcy filings from pursuing the claim simply because there's a potential motive for non-disclosure, regardless of whether it's bad faith. Whether an alien who stopped on the Mexican side of the border arrives in the United States within the meaning of the Immigration Act, which provides an alien who arrives in the United States may apply for asylum and must be inspected. If they're at a legal port of entry, I think the answer is yes. If they're at a legal port of entry, I think the answer is yes. Whether workers who deliver local goods that travel in interstate commerce but do not transport the goods across state borders, nor interact with vehicles that cross, are transportation workers engaged in foreign or interstate commerce for the purposes of exemption of Federal Arbitration Act. Whether venue is proper in a district where no offense conduct took place, so long as the statute's intent contemplates effects that could occur there. No. No, that doesn't make any sense to me. Why would venue be proper if nothing occurred there? That's just no. Whether a federal court that initially exercises jurisdiction that stays a case pending arbitration maintains jurisdiction over parse arbitration application. I would think. Whether under the standards set forth in the Anti-Terrorism and Effective Death Penalty Act, the Mississippi Supreme Court reasonably determined the petitioner waived his right to rebut the prosecutor's asserted race-neutral reasons for exercising preemptive strikes. Okay. Whether an executive order complies with citizenship clause, there's your birthright citizenship case. So that's what's up on the docket so far. Exciting. That's some exciting stuff. Sequestering individuals with severe disabilities in nursing homes? Spicy. Texas is illegally keeping with people with disability in nursing homes. What the hell is this? Texas, what did you do? All right. What did Texas do? Texas is illegally keeping people in nursing homes, keeping people with disabilities in nursing homes. A federal judge determined the state illegally institutionalized severely disabled people for decades. That's depressing. Texas has been violating federal law for decades by sequestering individuals with severe disabilities in poorly run nursing homes without offering them alternative living options. United States District Judge for the Western District of Texas ruled Tuesday state has caused irreparable injury to people with intellectual and developmental disabilities by denying them specialized services, including federally required services within the community. Great. Although community programs are the most integrated setting appropriate to meet their needs, they remain unnecessarily institutionalized in nursing facilities where it's serious risk. They're harmed by such institutionalization and deprived of living a community setting and participating in integrated community programs. The decision stems from a class action lawsuit by disability rights advocates in 6 plaintiffs between the ages of 26 and 46 that alleges that state social services often violated the ADA by failing to provide appropriate treatment to 4,500 people. Advocates say the state has consistently sent individuals who are receiving care for their disabilities at home or in a community to nursing homes by mistake after having been hospitalized. Once there, they don't receive services they need because they haven't been adequately screened and they're effectively trapped since many can't argue for their transfer. That sounds pretty fucked up. The state coordinates services for severely disabled through Medicaid waiver, funded by the state and federally. The programs help pay for various services. Most individuals with intellectual or developmental disability are placed on a wait list. By the time they become adults, the state funds most of their care, making them rely on decisions made by the state agencies. Yee. Congress passed National Nursing Home Reform Act, mandates nursing homes screen all applicants for cases of severe mental illness. The goal was to ensure individuals with disabilities are not inappropriately placed in nursing homes. The failure to provide these services constitutes a long-standing violation of several federal laws. Well, that's pretty fucked up. That sounds pretty fucked up. Texas apparently did some fucked up stuff. Well, what's my take on birthright? I'm not firm on this opinion, but based on some of the scholarship I've seen and some of the debates I've seen, I think that merely being born here is insufficient. I think that you have to be born to someone who's in a relationship to the United States. So, yeah, I don't think a person born as a result of birthright tourism, for example, would be a citizen. That's what I think at the moment, based on some of the scholarship I've read on this issue. So, yeah, I think that's right. But it's going to be a hell of a fight. Maybe I should go up there for that. That could be a fun one to go up there. What date is that supposed to be on? It's going to be a crowded one, too. I'm going to have to show up early in the morning. But at least it's in April, so it probably won't be too cold outside. So I got that going for me. They said April 1st, right? For birthright citizenship? Okay, so I've got 2 months to plan to get up there. Maybe I'll go up there for that. Could be fun. Make a trip of it. Swing down to see my parents afterwards. My parents like to be visited. So I'll swing up to DC and check it out and let you know how it turns out. Could be fun. Yeah. So I think I'm going to swing up to DC. Show up at 5 a.m. and stand in the attorney's line around the corner. Because the courtroom is small. The courtroom is surprisingly small for the Supreme Court. It's so small. But the attorneys do get reserved seating. And they get better seating than the general public. So I got that going for me. So I'll show up at 5 or 6 in the morning, stand in the attorney's line, and hope that's good enough for me to get into the courtroom. And then I'll have a good seat, and I get to see the show. It'll be great. I'll get myself a hotel in Northern Virginia near my old haunts, and get an Uber and poke up there. It'd be great. How much seating is there? Oh, I don't know off the top of my head if it's counted. Yeah, I'm not sure how many seats there are, but it's surprisingly small. Yeah, how many seats? I'd have to guess. But probably there can't be seating for more than like 120 people or something. Less than 100 it might be. Yeah, it's really small. Yeah, Stayman Arlington right across from Georgetown. Yeah. Yeah. That's fine. Yeah, get a hotel in Arlington and get a quick trip across the river, no problem. Could be fun. Camp out overnight. I don't think I have to camp out overnight for it because the attorneys won't show up that early. Because the attorneys have a special line. I had paid someone to camp out in line for me for Heller in DC, or Heller and McDonald. I paid someone to stand in line for me, which was very good. 439 seats, 50 to 250 are available for the general public. Yeah, that's probably true. 250 for the general public is really that many? I'll take your word for it. But yeah. You can't count the justices. You can't count them in the 439. Yeah. How do I think birth rate will go? If I had to bet, I think that, Trump's going to lose. I think Trump's going to lose, but it'll be interesting. Would I sit in the bar section? Hell yes. I'll sit in the bar section. That's the whole point. Yeah, I get to sit in the bar section with the cool kids. Yeah. 100%. 5-4 loss or worse? Let's see. All right, guys, I'm going to sign off for now. This has been a fun little hangout. I hope you've had fun. I've had fun. It's going to be interesting. I'll catch you later. Until later, I've been Uncivil Law. Hope you have a good one. Cheers for now, my friends, and goodbye.